Thank you for inviting me, and thank you all for welcoming me. So, I'm an architect, and I'm madly in love with nature. I grew up in the country in the northwest outskirts of Grand Rapids, so kind of like right in between Muskegon and Grand Rapids. Not on a farm, so we were surrounded by farms, and most of my friends lived on farms. We had a large garden that kids spend more time than we wanted to in. And we had a woods behind the house, and a creek, and a pond where we ice skated in the winter. Nearly every weekend in my childhood, my parents would drive my 3 siblings and me to our cabin that my dad built in the woods in Interlaken. On those 2.5-hour drives, with 4 kids in the car, young kids, my dad would find ways to amuse us, and one of them would be to point out to my sister and I, oh, hey, there's one for Teresa. Point out these old falling down houses or old stone barns and say, oh, that one's for Denise. So I would just imagine rescuing those old buildings from melting into the earth and making them into something fabulous again. So when we would arrive at the cabin, alive, most of the time, us kids would spend all our time in the woods. We had like 40 acres of woods that backed up to a national forest. So we were always outside in the woods, climbing trees and exploring. At the same time, in grade school, I was studying piano and art, and curiously, I just loved math. I know they don't really go together. But as an adult, I was fortunate to combine my love of all things creative with that math and the problem-solving things, and use those things to become an architect. So now, after over 20 years as an architect, I'm truly bringing my first love, nature, into that mix. And I spent the last 6 years in my own business studying how to create buildings that work simultaneously to support nature and that use nature paired with good design to make the building occupants, you, thrive. Okay, so I need your help. If you'll help me out, let's do a quick survey. Raise your hand if you answer yes to any of these questions. My office has a window. Good, good. My office has a view of nature. Wow. See, that's West Michigan, I think. I know the wall color in my office. Are you sure? I have enough light at my desk. Okay, that's not good enough. My office chair is comfortable. That's good. And again, that's probably a West Michigan-based thing based on the companies here, right? It's often too warm or too cold in my office. I work in an open office and there's no privacy. Wow, I'm cold. Okay. I'm surprised by that. Okay, so we all know how it happens. The boring beige office gets filled to the max with identical office cubes. You can peek over, you know, Dilbert, with matching one-size-fits-all chairs. Most of you have had the plastic mat to protect those stripy gray carpet tiles. Sound familiar? Come on, does that sound like anybody's office? Oh, yes. All right, so sadly, economics usually drives office design, and along with economics buddy speed, you, the owner or the employee, or both, in many cases, get shortchanged and sentenced to spending long days in a drab, uncomfortable, and uninspiring space. So my goal today is to show you how important it is to support your life with invigorating, healthy spaces and show you how to do this in a couple ways that you can implement when you get back to your office today. Okay, so let's talk about why a well-lit, comfortable, colorful, healthy office is important. First of all, for me, there are 5 basic needs that must be met. And those are good indoor air quality, a comfortable temperature, proper lighting, spatial comfort, and supportive furniture. All right, so let's tackle each one of those to learn their importance. Starting off with good indoor air quality. Do you remember in the mid-1980s, the World Health Organization coined the term sick building syndrome? Well, sick building syndrome was caused by the chemical contents of building materials, carpet, drywall compound, furniture, and fabrics. And it was often in combination with poor ventilation and outdoor contaminant sources, say windows next to parking lots, so fumes are coming in from cars. Well, building owners, because of that awareness, began to take steps to reduce building contaminants and increase the fresh air in buildings. And now, with new sustainable building guidelines, and manufacturers are creating better, healthier products, creating good indoor air quality is much easier to achieve than it was in the 80s, which, that's almost 30 years. Though that doesn't necessarily mean that achieving good indoor air quality is always a goal. So that's one of my passions, is to ensure that at a minimum we have quality air in our offices. There's a printer in town, in Grand Rapids, that several years ago I went to explore them, having them print some things for me, and the front section of their building were the offices, and then beyond was the print room. I couldn't breathe. It was so bad, and I thought, this was just a few years ago, and so if they haven't improved, and it appeared that many of the people working there had been there for years, so I'm certain they will have negative health effects from working in that environment with that terrible air quality coming from the chemicals used in the print shop. So, that's a really bad scenario, but we need to be mindful of what we're breathing in. Okay, so what are the benefits of healthy indoor air? Well, of course, good indoor air quality contributes to our overall comfort and good health. Now, studies show that improved air quality reduced asthma and other respiratory illnesses, and it can actually improve employee productivity from 5 to 10%. So just think, you're breathing fresh, clean air. You're more comfortable. You can work better, and that's been proven in studies. So indoor air quality is really a topic. It's a week-long topic to study to learn how to achieve. But I have a few key things that you can do quite easily. One is change the cleaners that you use in your office to non-toxic cleaners, which are readily available now. There shouldn't be anything like bleach or ammonia or cleaners that your office may have been using 10 years ago. The natural non-toxic cleaners are available now. So that's a no-brainer. Just do it. Separate your equipment, such as copiers and the copy supplies. Put them in a separate room away from employees. I know that's a little bit more difficult, but if at all possible, do that. There are fumes coming from the chemicals in the printers that employees are breathing. And those should also be separated from your heating, ventilating, air conditioning equipment. You don't want those supplies or that equipment next to the HVAC equipment and getting in your ductwork and spreading those things throughout your building. Let's see. Establish guidelines on fragrances used by employees. Now, this sounds really silly, like you're not going to tell someone she can't wear perfume and I can't wear cologne. However, the Centers for Disease Control has incredibly strict guidelines on what employees can wear in their offices. And I can share links to that information with you if you'd like afterwards, let me know. But that's one, again, that I think is super easy. Have you ever been out like to a movie and someone sitting next to you has so much fragrance on? It's stifling. I don't consider myself overly sensitive, but when you get an office full of people and all those fragrances are combating and you're breathing those in, if they're not natural, they're chemicals. So that's, to me, a really easy way to eliminate a lot of bad things from the air. And then maintain your HVAC system and change those filters regularly. You know, you should, if you have a large facility, you probably have a program of maintenance. If you have a small facility, at least once a year, have your system checked by a qualified contractor and change those filters monthly. You know, that has an enormous impact on the quality of the air that's passing through the system, whether heating or air conditioning. So those are a few guidelines to help you create healthy indoor air quality. Okay, let's talk about temperature. For me, and I know many of my female colleagues will agree, the offices I've worked in are generally cold year-round. Summer, winter, it doesn't matter. How many of you have space heaters under your desk? Or a sweater on the back of your chair? So it sounds like you're the only one who's in a larger office. Is that true?
I have a floor and I'm in an office with one other person.
But you can't control your temperature, right? So clearly, comfortable workers are happier and focused on the tasks at hand. You know how difficult it is to focus if you're too cold or you're too warm. You're just uncomfortable and your attention span is not there. One study by Cornell University showed that chilly workers actually make more errors. Another study by Helsinki University of Technology shows a 2% decrease in performance for each degree increase of temperature above 77 degrees. They found that the optimal productivity performance occurred when the space was 72 degrees. Now, who would be uncomfortable in 72? Anybody? You be cold? Oh, no, I'd be hot. Okay. But I think that's probably a good median. No, maybe not. Well, that's the minority, right? So it is always a balance. You know, some of us may still have sweaters on our chairs, but if we can eliminate those space heaters, that would be a good thing. Okay, so then office lighting is another incredibly complex topic. And there have been extensive studies on different types of lighting, from suspended, we've got track over here, to recessed, indirect uplights, then fluorescent or incandescent, lamp temperature, whether the lamp is warm or cool, and how all of these things affect workers. Now, the results of these lighting studies are, again, a presentation all on their own, yet the key finding is that poor lighting causes eye strain and fatigue, resulting again in poor performance. And of course, studies show that employees prefer to work near windows and are happier, and we perform better in naturally lit spaces. So spatial comfort. Now, what am I talking about with spatial comfort? Well, if you're in an open office and you're kind of an introvert, you're not going to feel comfortable in that space. If you're a gregarious person, but you need to focus on a task in quiet, you're not going to feel comfortable in an open office with someone popping by and interrupting you, right? I mean, open offices have recently become under attack for all these different reasons, and companies really need to provide a palette of office types and spaces so that, you know, I may be outgoing, but I need to get something done, so maybe there's a private space for me to go work, or go make a phone call. Have you ever worked in an office where you couldn't make a private phone call, and you had to go outside because there, you know, it was just an open office and there was nowhere to go? So offices really need to have a variety of spaces for personality types and different tasks and work needs. Okay, so office furniture. Most people said few people said their chair was comfortable. No, most of you said your chair was comfortable. Now, office furniture contributes significantly to our health and performance. Again, that one-size-fits-all desk and chair, which are driven by standards set for office uniformity and ease of ordering, just don't fit everyone. And again, where we're located with all the furniture manufacturers, it's easy for us to have access to the chairs that adjust the seat height, the back angle, the arm height. You can move the arms in and out. I mean, the furniture companies have done their part. We just have to make sure that as owners, we do our part and provide those things for our employees. They also have desks that you adjust in height and stand up at your desk, which is great in terms of health benefits for those of us who spend most of our time at a desk. So I think this is one of my 5 basic needs. And you absolutely have to have a chair and a desk that fit your body and the type of work that you're doing. So again, those 5 things: good indoor air quality, comfortable temperature, proper lighting, spatial comfort, supportive, flexible furniture are, to me, the basics and the essentials of a work environment. Now, if those basic needs are not met, negative emotions are created that impede our thought patterns and our ability to act and accomplish our goals. On the other hand, if our basic needs are met and positive emotions are created through other methods, such as design, the positive emotions help us be more creative, better able to work with others, and in general just perform better. Again, if we're happy, we're going to just do better. And further studies showed that positive emotions can actually make difficult tasks easier. I just think that's really interesting. And negative emotions make even simple tasks difficult. Ever tried to refill a stapler and you just can't get it open? It's like the easiest thing on the planet, but you start getting frustrated and it becomes more and more difficult. So, okay. Yeah, and you know, if my fingers are cold, I'm going to have a really difficult time drawing a building section or typing that report. It's really just common sense, but they have studied these things and proven that they do affect your performance. Okay, so you again begin to see how design, from the design of your office to the design of your stapler, plays a key role in our lives. So what takes an office to the next level? A level where you're inspired and feel cared for and creative is what I want to share with you now. I want you to have easy methods that you can implement quickly and inexpensively, and through two methods that are very close to my heart, through color and nature. So let's start with color, whose effects on behavior have been studied since the late 1800s. Frank Mankey, a contemporary, world-renowned color expert, wrote this about gray. Gray is conservative, quiet, and calm, but also dreary, tedious, passive, and without life. In the gray zone, there is no clarity in any direction. It is neutral. Gray lacks energy. It has no will of its own. It does not want to get involved and make any definite statement. Frank Mankey wrote this about yellow. Reflective and luminous, yellow is the happiest of all colors. In its positive associations and impressions, it is cheerful, high-spirited, and suggestive of the life-giving sun. It represents a bright future, hope, wisdom, and it is expansive, not earthbound. Who has yellow in their office? Who has gray in their office? Or beige? Because beige is like gray. It's a cry for help, not a color. So we've got 2 or 3 with beige and gray. Yeah, isn't that? It's seriously though, research found that understimulating environments make people restless and irritable, as well as making people withdraw into themselves with anxiety, fear, and distress. So you may be struggling from the moment you step into your dull gray office. All right, so let's get some color into your office. But how do you choose colors? Well, without me giving you a personal consultation, there are basic guidelines you can use. So let's start with blue. Blue is generally liked by most as it represents the sky and water. It gives feelings of calm and serenity. Blue also promotes clear thinking and increases productivity. Which blue you select is key, however, so that you don't get the blues. And blue suppresses appetites, so you may or may not want to use blue in a lunchroom. My advice is to stick to clear, fresh blues without any gray. Now the color green represents the natural world and has certainly become more popular as a symbol of doing the right thing for our planet. As a color, it can be invigorating, as it is here, as in bright lime green, or calming, as in emerald green. It's been shown to reduce eye strain, improve reading ability, relieve stress, and help the healing process. Again, I recommend crisp, fresh green on the brighter side to engage in the invigorating qualities and avoid moody qualities. Probably don't want moody in your office. Think green thumb over green with envy. Orange, one of my personal favorites, doesn't look very orange here, I apologize. Orange takes the best qualities from red and yellow to create a sense of warmth and enthusiasm. Orange has been shown to improve the oxygen supply to our brains, so it increases mental activity and awareness and our energy levels. Orange is associated with sunsets and autumn harvests, and it stimulates our appetite. When choosing orange, use caution to keep things fresh and not garish. It's a really fine line. Think freshly picked orange over a traffic cone orange. Now, red is a very powerful color, and a colleague of mine once said that red should only be used as an accent, as it is in nature. Oh God, it's kind of brown here. I agree with her. Red evokes very strong emotions, and it should be used sparingly, if at all, in offices. Red evokes warmth and intensity and excitement. It stimulates the mind and body, and increases circulation. But red-handed and seeing red probably are not the tone you want in your work environment. Purple is a majestic and historically considered royal combination of exhilarating red and calming blue. Purple uplifts our spirits while calming our nerves. It encourages our creativity and a sense of spirituality. There's a purple for every scenario, from serious and impressive to light and playful. Back to yellow, our color of sunshine and a new day. Yellow is the most visible color in the spectrum, and that's why you see it used for safety signs and safety symbols. Yellow is considered cheery and warm, yet it can cause frustration, agitation, and anger. Used in fresh hues, yellow can improve clarity and analytical skills. So try buttery yellows, and again, avoid safety yellow. And clearly, individual color preferences are widely varied. I recommend choosing a palette of 2 to 3 colors splashed throughout your office to avoid creating discomfort for individuals, for example, who may have an aversion to orange. And in general, use basic color guidelines for color placement. Blue is great in conference rooms because it promotes clear thinking. Green on a desktop can provide relief from eye strain. And again, orange in a lunchroom can stimulate appetite. In other words, match the color of your office or space within your office to the emotion you want to achieve in that space. So if office changes aren't in the cards for you, just do some very simple things like add colorful screensavers, or of a nature scene, or of your favorite art. You could just ditch the black folder. I have all black folders too. You know, get some color. John's got great purple grape folders. There's simple ways to add color to your desk. Of course, if you are renovating or starting fresh, you'll use a palette that works with your company's brand and represents the work that you do. I created this colorful yet sophisticated palette for the offices of an information security company owned by really young executives, and they do the information security for credit unions. So, but they're very young. So we created a very stable, secure palette in the public spaces, and then in the private offices, it's a little bit more fun with pops of color. This is actually a lovely orange. So those public spaces convey their expertise and their stability, while the private spaces are a little bit more fun and energizing for the young owners and employees. Okay, let's move on to our next big topic. There's a therapy that costs nothing. It's readily available here in West Michigan. It improves your overall well-being and your cognitive functioning. Anyone? It's nature. Oh, sorry, Josh. That's right. It's nature. So let's look at the benefits of nature and how you can bring them into your office. You know, until only recently in our overall history, humans have been in tune with nature and living with nature. And we may have moved indoors, but we haven't lost our inherent need to be close to nature and active in nature. And numerous studies, including studies performed at the University of Michigan, show that nature is restorative and healing and can improve our health and then our attention and productivity. I'm quoting from a nature study, or study here, on the effects of nature. In sum, we have shown that simple and brief interactions with nature can produce marked increases in cognitive control. To consider the availability of nature as merely an amenity fails to recognize the vital importance of nature in effective cognitive functioning. Now, don't go back and tell your boss, I gotta go for a walk. Anyway, another study by the University of Illinois recently showed that having a window office delivered benefits beyond those that those employees experience while actually in the office. They also slept better at night and were more active during the day. So how do we bring nature and daylight into your office? Well, again, assuming you're not going to relocate, bringing nature in is as simple as adding a plant to your desk. Plants increase the oxygen content and improve office aesthetics at the same time. These plants are super easy to grow, and most of them clean the air. So there's no excuse that I don't have a green thumb. And if you want this list of plants, let me know after and I'll get this to you. So studies show that just taking a moment to look away from your computer screen to focus on a plant has restorative qualities and can get you away from mental fatigue. Seriously. Studies have proven that if you just look away, they studied like 20 seconds and look at a plant, your mental fatigue will start to fade away. Now, live walls. Who's heard of live walls? Good, good. These have just soared in popularity over the last few years, and of course offer these benefits on a much grander scale to individuals and their air cleaning quality. They're phenomenal. Not everyone is going to be able to undertake something like this, but all of us can have a plant at our desk. Even many of those plants are for low light that I showed you. So you can also bring in nature with natural materials such as clay paint. Clay paint is a natural paint that's rich in color and texture. It also gives off negative ions, and those are actually a good thing. Negative ions balance the atmosphere by neutralizing the electromagnetic effects of computers and copiers and, well, nobody has a fax anymore, but all of those pieces of equipment, the negative ions balance those out, and they increase our serotonin levels, which relieves stress and depression and boosts our energy again. So natural materials such as wood and wool and cork are easy to incorporate into your office and can connect us back to nature in more subtle ways. Wood desktops, cork-covered walls, wool fabrics, and carpets are not only beautiful and durable, but they're beneficial to our well-being. Wool is a miraculous fiber that cleans the air of toxins. It balances the humidity. It feels cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Many of our offices are streamlined and filled with man-made materials, laminates, plastics, nylon carpets. Replacing these materials when you can, if you're getting something new, go natural the next time. Replacing those materials with natural and naturally finished materials and furnishings will immediately clean the air in your office. Adding texture to smooth surfaces can reconnect us to nature as well. Try wool carpet with a large loop pattern or loop, or a wall paneled in unfinished but expertly crafted reclaimed wood. Now, wouldn't you be proud to welcome someone into your office? It's probably not everyone's style, but the natural materials run the gamut from simple to incredibly sophisticated, so there's something for everyone's sense of style. Again, add a nature photo on your desk or your screensaver, and I can share some of my photos with you if you like, so let me know, answer it again. Or bring something in like a cork pencil cup, or a stone paperweight. It's as simple as getting something from nature or an object made from a natural material and adding it to your desk. Because remember, studies show that just taking a moment to look away from your computer screen to focus on a plant or another natural material can provide restoration from mental fatigue. Okay, so let's talk about the Windows offices. So how many had a window office again? Oh wow, you're in really good shape. However, most offices are designed to provide the amount of light necessary to perform a task. But that doesn't mean that your office is providing the amount of light you need to thrive. So daylight levels on a sunny day here in Michigan, which actually we have today, are 10,000 lux, or 10,000 foot candles. And so what a foot candle is imagine one little candle and the light that it provides within a foot. That's 1 foot candle. So again, we're outside today. There are 10,000 foot candles. And most offices, now this is an average, provide 500 foot candles. So 500 or 10,000. There's a great disparity there. And certainly we're probably not going to get up to 10,000 even next to a window. But we need to really bump up those light levels at our desks. Probably not only for tasks, or detailed tasks, but to help us thrive. So, many of us have office systems, you know, with little under cabinet lights. We can bump up the wattage of those lamps so that we don't have to install new fixtures. Or, you know, get a little lamp, put some little lamps on your desk. And now with the CFLs and LEDs, it's really easy to, say you have a 60-watt lamp, you can get a much higher light output by going to a compact fluorescent. Say you put a 20-watt compact fluorescent in that 60-watt incandescent lamp and you doubled your light output. So there are a lot of ways to do it without buying new fixtures. It's really just changing the lamp to the new technologies we have now and bumping up that light output. I think it's really important. Starting to see the sad symptoms, you know, seasonal affective disorder with the gray days and being tucked inside an office. We really got to bump up our light levels. Or, you know, take a walk outside in the morning or at least on your lunch hour. So it sounds like most of our offices fulfill our basic needs. And I've shown you how color and nature can take you and your office to the next level. And again, studies have shown that even if a basic need is unfulfilled, a bonus feature, such as color, can eliminate the negative emotions caused by an unmet need. Okay, now you have some tools to improve your office, your time there, and your overall well-being. John, do we have time for questions?
Oh,